Hey folks, welcome back to the channel.
Hello.
So, after Monday's video, I thought I would do something super cute. I don't know if it turns out cute, but we'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
Now, if you've been following us for a little while, you'll know that I have a thing about little turtles. They're quite cute. I
Yes.
don't know why, but they are. I just find them really cute.
Yeah.
And a while ago, I bought this mold from Let's Resin, and it's the
Turtle.
I used it in the Discworld video.
Oh, that. Oh,
It's
yeah.
that turtle, and I thought that I'd try something similar to what I did with the owl that I did a
Okay.
couple of weeks
Yeah, yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Um, so I dug out my super secret stash
I
of
am actually amazed that you found it,
So was
considering it's super
so was
secret.
I, because it's been hidden for quite some time, to be fair. But I dug it out, my super secret stash of Dichroic film,
Yeah.
and I picked a it's a green, copper, bluish, orangey shift.
Okay. So all of the colours then.
Well, it's not all of the colours, but it's got a very sort of greeny, goldy sort of colour.
Yeah. I can see the
Um,
gold when you use the heat gun
yeah.
over it.
And then I just popped the heat gun over it to give it that beautiful sort of crinkle look.
Yeah.
Um,
I
uh,
thought, don't you need to put a couple over the top of each other for it to
is
crinkle,
is the
or is it literally?
video over yet?
No.
Then please exert some patience.
Why?
Why not? Listen,
I am the most patient person ever.
I have been traumatized by you. So
What do you mean?
what do you mean? What do I mean? What was Monday's video?
That was a triumph of crafting.
That was ick. So I took my dichroic film that I have crinkled with my heat gun. Oh, I've still not put stickers on the heat gun. I need to do that. I really do need to do that. Remind me, please.
Okay,
Not now. Remind me later. Anyway, so
okay,
I drew the shape of the turtle shell and then I cut it out. I I marked it with a Sharpie. Now that isn't a problem because you can get rid of that with just a quick spritz of isopropyl alcohol
yeah,
and a little wipe, and
yeah,
it just comes away like magic.
cool.
So what I love about dichroic film is depending on what color background you give it, depends on what color it is. And I quite liked it against the black. And I thought, it needs something, it needs a little,
Little judge.
well, it needs a bit of a zhuzh.
Yeah,
So I thought I quite liked the sort of the coppery orange color
yeah.
as well. So I decided to get the heat gun and
You need to put some stickers on that.
okay, thanks for that reminder. So I got the heat gun and I blitzed this bit as well. And you can see that I've got a piece of card there, just over half of it,
Yeah.
and that's for a couple of reasons. Number one being it stops it blowing away, which is good. And number two,
Yeah.
number two, it as soon as you finish putting the heat on it, if you want to sort of keep it nice and flat rather than really crinkly up,
Yeah.
you can just pop that piece of card on and it'll flatten it down.
I suppose it
So
also stops the bit that you don't want to use from getting any heat and crinkling up.
it did that too, because I thought if it's all crinkled up, I might struggle to get it back in its little package. So I
Okay.
what? What? It's going back in the package and it's gone back to its hiding place.
Okay.
And I'm very happy about that. So then I thought, do I put them together? And I thought, no. I thought I'd put some strips across just
Okay.
to so you get that green gold coming through, but then you've also got that coppery colour.
Yeah.
And I thought that might be quite effective. I thought.
So this stuff, if you lay over the top of the other one and then use the heat gun,
It
it
fuses
will
them.
actually fuse
Yeah,
together.
absolutely. It fuses them together, and it's. I love this stuff so much. It's just gorgeous.
The only trouble with this stuff is if you don't secure it while you're using the heat gun,
It blows away.
It tends to fly away.
It does, yeah. It blows away. That I don't think happened, but it's quite possible. I suspect that what you've just said is a little bit of foreshadowing.
I think it is foreshadowing, yes. Yes, it is.
Well, I was just trying to be. I was still traumatized. That's what I'm blaming it on. So I wanted just the sort of 3 stripes. And then you can see that I've not quite secured the bottom one. The piece of card wasn't
you weren't pushing firmly enough down.
I wasn't putting enough pressure on it.
Yeah.
But, that's okay because I learnt and I moved on.
I suppose the trick is to be able to hold the film down firmly enough, but also keeping your fingers out of the heat so you don't scorch your fingers.
Yes. And that is, I have to say, that's quite the talent.
What, scorching your fingers?
Not scorching your fingers, because I burnt mine about 3 times. Truth be told, I'm not going to lie about it. I did. I was like, oh, that's quite sore. But,
oh, that's a little warm.
I suffer for my art.
Do you now?
No, not really. But at this point, I was like, that's close enough. It's near enough to my vision. I'm fine.
That's not going anywhere anyway. After that.
No, it got a real good blitz, and then I just cut it to the shape. So yeah, it's not perfect, but
And then you'd like,
well, no, I crinkled it up that little bit more just to give it a bit more crinkle. I wanted crinkle.
So you crinkled it up a bit more to give it crinkle.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I cut around the shape that I drew.
Yeah.
So it's all going swimmingly so far.
It's all going to plan.
Yeah. How long do you think that's going to last?
That's not going to last.
No, it's not. But, my intent was there. It's all about intent, isn't it?
Well, like camping. That's
what?
intense.
Where do you, honestly, how does your mind work?
Very well.
Well, does it though?
Yeah. Maybe a little warped and twisted, but...
A little warped and twisted?
Just a smidgen.
Really? I think that completely. Now, we have actually got a fan on in the room, which...
We've got 2, actually.
Yeah, with hindsight, I probably would have turned them off before I started this, because, it was... it caused me some issues every now and then with things just blowing off my desk. But, luckily, Kirk has cut all those bits out. Haven't you, Kirk?
Yes, dear.
What? What did you just... What?
I agreed with you. I said yes, dear.
That freaks me out when you do that.
What, when I agree with you?
Yeah, because it doesn't happen very often. So I again just checked it against the white and the black, and I decided that I preferred the black. So,
I think that Dichroic, I think the darker backing does make it stand out more.
It does, but sometimes you don't want the dark backing. Sometimes you want the light backing. It depends. Now, I decided to go for, I think this is nature.
What that's the
it's a tiny turner.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, nature would be about right
for a turtle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I ummed and ahed about whether or not to mica it before I put the clear bit in, and I decided, rightly or wrongly, to put my clear layer in.
Yeah.
and then mica it. And the reason I went with that is because when you put mica in, you inevitably get a bit that flies away. And I wanted a very clear layer.
Yeah.
And if I'd mica'd it,
You'd have had a bit.
although I'd have cleaned it up, it's inevitable that I would have missed some. What are you laughing at?
That little turtle at the bottom just slid into shot.
My little teeny tiny turtle.
Well, it went from the big one. You go, oh, I've got a little bit left.
No. That's not the big turtle, baby.
Okay, well, it's bigger than the other ones.
I have got big turtle.
No, you got giant turtle.
We're not calling him giant turtle.
Okay.
He's big turtle. He's medium turtle.
Yeah.
He's little turtle.
Yeah.
And that's tiny turtle.
Tiny turtle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they are all so cute. Although I have not made the big one yet.
No, because that's going to take like a whole tub of resin.
No, it's not. Don't you are such an exaggerator.
No.
It takes about a litre.
A litre?
Takes about 600-700.
What, mil?
Yeah.
That's quite a lot.
Wow. Is it though? I haven't made it because I haven't decided what I want to do with it. Nothing has sung to me. Or no, that's not true. Too many things have sung. They're all singing. There's a choir.
A choir of what?
Of ideas, and I can't choose. So at some point I will go, right, I'm going to go with that, and then that's what I will make.
Why didn't you just write them all down on a piece of paper?
I have written them all down.
Put them into a hat, and then just
put your
hand in and pick one, and then that's it. Then do that one.
No, that's not how it works.
How does it work then?
Well, it doesn't work like that.
What?
No, I can't. No. That's wrong. I can't do that. And the very fact that you've mentioned that to me, I feel quite distressed by it. Truth be told, I'm actually having like a mini attack now.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever say that again. No.
What?
What you just said. Anyway, moving on. So I've put my Dichroic film into the big turtle.
And the little turtle.
And the little turtle.
And the tiny turtle.
The tiny turtle.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to do your favourite bit when you get to the editing.
You didn't get the
I'm going to play with it.
Permanent
do
marker.
you know what? After I put that tiny piece in that turtle, I realised that I hadn't wiped that particular part.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, well, I'm not getting that out the resin now, am I? I'll just let that go. So I did. I let it go.
Yeah.
Now, once it had dried, I then took the tiny turner and
Not the tiny turtle.
No, I took the tiny turner and I micaed the head.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the head was quite challenging because I couldn't get my brush in.
You need a tiny brush.
What do you mean I need a tiny brush? That is a tiny brush.
Is it because there's an overhang in there and it's just...
Yeah, it's because I couldn't get my thing in properly. I mean, I managed it, but it was a struggle. And you do see I periodically go back and just go, make sure I've not missed any.
Yeah.
But, we'll see if I did.
Yeah.
That colour though, look at it.
It's looking very sparkly.
It is just beautiful. And I think
the tiny turner. Yeah,
and I think that Dichroic film with that tiny turner, if I do say so myself, look quite spectacular.
Spectacular.
Spectacular. Yes.
Wow.
What? Is that too vain?
No,
is that a bit vain?
No.
It is a little bit.
No.
But I was really chuffed with it. I was very pleased with myself.
Yeah. No, I think it was.
So, once I'd finished all the micaing, and I whizzed round just to make sure there was no nothing where it shouldn't be. Yeah. I mixed up some resin. I added some black Vista paste, and then I also added some of this mica powder, which is a black silver.
Yeah.
And the reason I did that is because I wanted on the bottom of it there to be I don't know what the word
I
is.
don't know. It
It's
creates a weird pattern.
Yeah, mica gives a pattern, and I didn't want it just to be a flat, boring base.
Yeah.
I wanted it to have the depth of a pure black pigment, but I wanted it to have the prettiness of a mica.
Yeah. Okay, that makes
And I
sense.
don't have a really deep, dark mica, but I do have a really deep, dark paste. So I thought
Yeah.
I'll add both.
Yeah.
What's the
Why not?
worst that can happen?
Yeah. This is true.
So that's what I did. And then I poured it in. And I have to say, this was a really satisfying pour.
Why?
I don't know. It felt nice.
It felt
It
nice.
did. There's something about pouring black into, like, on that kind of thing that is just very.
I'm glad that you actually paid attention while you were pouring this time instead of watching YouTube videos.
Yeah. But the turtle takes, I think it's 14, I want to say 13 and a half, 14 ounces,
Oh, really?
which
That
is,
one?
yeah, that's quite a lot of resin.
Yeah.
So what I thought was I will enlist the aid of the Bruno box
Yeah.
and shove in a load of.
So these are all the things that you've made and you've gone, that's rubbish, and then just chucked it into that box.
Yes.
And then because if you're doing a like you are now, a black base
Yeah.
or a dark base, an opaque base,
Yeah. You might as
that
well. Yeah.
you can chuck loads of stuff in there
And
and
reduce your resin use. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So the mold itself takes, I'm pretty sure it's 13 and a half ounces. I can't remember what that is in mils. I do work in mils, but lets resin only give it out in ounces.
Yeah.
And I actually only used 10 ounces.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
That's-
actually, it was 9.5 with all the rubbish that I put in. So I was, it really does make a difference.
Yeah.
So this is the day later.
Ooh,
And it's the
it's
demold.
exciting.
And I have to say, I was a little nervous because I thought, have I done it right? Is it going to look pretty? What's it going to be?
Well,
I've waited a long time to use that particular Dichroic film. And
did you wait or did you just find it while you were looking for googly eyes?
no, I did wait. So I'm happy with his bottom. I think he's got a nice sort of interest. And
Nice derriere.
then I was like, oh, look at him.
That's quite pretty.
I was most.
That's a nice turtle as well. That's a lovely turtle mold.
It's beautiful.
I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that.
No, I knew that was coming, and the answer is no. It's on the top shelf. Anything on the top shelf, you don't touch.
I know it is now, though.
Yeah, but no, because it's cute, and I love it, and you will make it hideous.
No, it won't.
So, anyway,
I didn't even know how
then
I would make that hideous.
Just shush.
It's a bit
With
harsh.
your you had an awful lot of hideousness happen in this room. I'm still traumatized.
I think you should just let it go now.
I'm not going to let it go. That's going to stay with you. That's got legs.
Just like a spider.
Oh, that's not funny. So this is Little Turtle.
Yeah.
And again, I really liked how he turned out.
Yeah.
And I know he's got a clear head.
It's always good to have a clear head.
Well, no, that's because when I was pouring his shell, just the shape of the mold, it does tend to go into the head.
Yeah.
So if I was doing it again, I'd mica his head first. But look at Tiny Turtle. Isn't that just there's a little bit of overpour, but he is just like the cutest little thing I've ever come across. So then I thought, right, I need to mark out his shell.
Yeah, I don't know what
bits.
It's just the
shell bits.
The plates of the shell.
Well, you can call it that. I just call it shell bits. But what? Shell bits.
Okay. I don't think that's the actual technical term for them.
Well, I'm not a vet, so I don't care.
No, you're Nikki. I don't know who a vet is.
Oh, that's just so funny. Oh, someone took funny pills. Right. So I marked it with. I actually used a copper pen.
Yeah,
And then on the small turtle and the tiny turtle, I used a gold pen.
that looks yellow to me.
It's gold,
Hmm.
and you need to move on. And the reason I would have preferred, if I'm honest, to use a copper pen, but I don't have a copper pen small enough to go in those little holes.
Oh, really?
So they only get gold or silver.
Oh,
I know. Once I find a small enough copper pen, rest assured though, I shall have it.
do they not have one on that website that you?
Timu.
Yeah.
I tell you what, as soon as we finish this voiceover, I will go look.
Ugh.
And you've only got yourself to blame.
I have. I just realised what I've done.
Yep. You've only got yourself to blame. And then I gave Big Turtle some nice eyes. And then I remember now, I actually thought I preferred the gold. So I went over the copper with the gold because I preferred it. I thought it
I
was
think
nicer.
the gold stands out.
Yeah, I actually preferred it. So I'd have been happy. I was happy with the copper.
Yeah.
But
You were happier
with
the gold.
I was happier with the gold.
Yeah.
So I sorted his eyes out. But with the small turtle and the tiny turtle, I actually gave them what?
I just remember you doing this because
Yeah.
you really struggled with those rhinestones.
Oh,
and that pen.
no, that wasn't that day. That was the other week. That wasn't these.
I'm sure I left it in because I found it amusing.
Oh,
I think this bit where you're trying to stick it on the ends, and then you go, right, okay, I'm going to put that on. Oh no, that's the wrong one.
Well, thank you for leaving that in.
My pleasure.
You're vile. Yeah, there. Do you know what? Those pesky things are a blooming nightmare, but I love them. They're so shiny.
Yeah.
So I can't not use them now because they're like really pretty. I feel like I've got yet another I don't know.
Vice.
I wouldn't call it a vice. I feel
Well,
that that's a little
No, I
harsh,
think vice.
but I feel that they sing to me.
They sing to you.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Do you know what? I've just realised that's why you're always losing stuff because you can't concentrate anything because you've got all these things like singing to you all the time.
Honestly, it's like a blooming choir in my head.
I was going to go. It's more like Nicky the musical.
Oh dear.
Do you know why everything just suddenly bursts into song?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Or like that cartoon that you like.
No, don't you dare.
And they all start. They all start singing and moving around.
Stop it.
You know the one, don't you?
I do. And I'm not going to do it.
You are?
No, I'm fighting it. We're going to get to the end of this video and then I'm going to sing it. Right. and be it on your own head. Anyway, with the little tiny turtle, I used gold rhinestones because I thought that worked better.
Okay.
Because he's got the green head. So it was just a case of adding a little bit of UV to...
Did you not put rhinestones on the big one?
No.
Why?
He didn't. I feel that...
Did he not deserve them?
He didn't need them. I feel that he is just epic enough.
Epic.
All by himself. He needs no blinging. But the little ones, obviously, they've got to compensate for being little.
Okay. So they've zhuzhed.
So they needed a bit of zhuzhing with their eyes. So
okay.
I just added a little bit of UV to the eyes to make them
look a bit more lifelike.
Well, I mean, how lifelike does a green, shiny gold turtle that doesn't move look, if you're honest?
It looks very lifelike.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe it's like It's one of those turtles that doesn't move while you're looking at it.
Okay. Anyway, moving on swiftly. And that was him all done.
I think it looks
So
cool.
at some point I turned off my camera and then I just rubbed it for a little while. And then it was
And
off
what about the turtle?
to the glamour shots. And and that was that. And there he is, all done and dusted.
Yeah.
So if you like our creative chaos, please do hit that like button.
And while you're down there, give the subscribe a little rub if you haven't already.
And if you have,
Thank you very much.
where did that come from?
Were you rubbing the turtles? Well, you said you rubbed something off and then.
Can we just be clear?
Uh-huh.
I stroked the turtle.
Yeah, because that sounds a lot better.
And on that note,
You were going to sing.
I'm not singing during the video.
Why not?
I will sing the minute you hit stop.
Okay.
Nice try, though.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah. Well, on that note, then.
We will hopefully see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye. Little town, it's a quiet village. Every day, like the one before.
That was
Little
beautiful.
town, full of little people, waking up to say bonjour.